Being prepared to face any situation takes a lot of thought. And having everything together, whereas you have a bag with, your medical supplies, with things you need to get by, maybe a 3-day pack. You have a firearm to protect yourself, a knife, even a radio in case your cell phone goes out, flashlights, medical kits, fire kits. There are just so many things to think about. But invariably, you're going to be missing something. And in fact, you'll probably be missing a number of things. The best laid plans for mice and men, there's always a caveat. And so having gear that you can transition, that you can be very versatile with, is important. But one of the most important things, and I've been doing a lot of these lately on the Sensible Prepper channel, is to give you one item with multiple uses. And it really gets you thinking. It gets you really thinking that no matter what it is, there's probably other uses that you can have. And so not being locked in to the sole purpose it was designed for. But one of these is a heavy meal trash bag. Not one of the little small kitchen trash cans, but a really heavy duty bag that's heavy meal, that's thick, that's tough, that can stand up to some pressure. And I typically buy these at local Lowe's or Home Depot stores as industrial trash can bags. And these are about the 50-gallon bags. They're a little more expensive than your standard bags, but to be honest with you, they're not very expensive if you think about all the things you can do with this in a survival situation. And it could possibly save your life. Take the sealed end of your trash bag, kind of center it up, and just cut a crescent out of the top. Now you have a hole. Where you've cut the hole, make sure you bunch it up here. That way when you're putting it over your head, you're not going to smother yourself. Now you have an improvised poncho. You can also cut for armholes. You can get your arms through, or you can cut all the way through, and then it'll be just a nice poncho where your arms are totally free. It can also be brought over your head this way to keep the rain off of your head. The big thing is you don't want to get hypothermia on your body, but it definitely works very well to keep the rain off of you. This bag can also be used as a bivy sack. It's not going to cover your whole body, but you sure can't get in it. If you have a nice warm coat, you can put it over you, or you can use it as a poncho and keep yourself warm. But this really will help you to insulate from the ground, keep you from getting wet. To use this as a rain shelter, fold it over, cut a small hole in it, drive your paracord through, tie it around a small tree, or you can put stakes up. This can also be used as an improvised shelter to keep the rain off. You can open this up by cutting it and placing it flat, and you can really get a large space. And even if you have a dedicated windbreak to keep the wind off of you, you can use a bag, sit on the ground to keep you dry, especially in a wet condition. Of course, this can be used as a tarp over your head to also keep you out of the rain. But typically the ground's already going to be wet, or the ground's going to receive moisture. So having a trash bag is really easy, it's really cheap. Also, you can take dried leaves, pile in here, make yourself a really nice mattress. Not only will this give you some comfort by giving you a little cushion, it'll also give you an insulation layer if you're laying on the ground to keep that, because that ground will suck the heat out of your body. You can also take some stakes, sharpen them, drive these into the ground. Have yourself 4 little stakes. Take this bag and open it up. And place the ends over the stakes. This creates a great place for water to collect, or you can use this as a container for something. But right now it's raining, so you're going to get water. But even when dew falls in the mornings, you can get a good bit of water here. You can raise this up and it'll all go to one end, and you can put this in your canteen. So it's a great water collection system. Now, one thing you can do is to collect water. And of course, we've shown where you can collect it and set it up for a dew catch or for a rain catch. But even if you find a good potable source of water or you filter the water, you can put it in this and carry it on your back. Now, water weighs 8 pounds per gallon, so you're not going to be able to get a whole lot to carry a long distance, but it sure will give you something in the meantime. It can also be used as a transport. You can place items in the bag. That way, you've got one hand, you can hold on to it, put it over your shoulder, and carry it better long distances. Much better than carrying multiple items in your arms. Plus, it gives you one free hand. Rain and moisture can be very likely while you're outdoors. And while you're carrying a pack like this on your back, this can get just completely soaked. And so one of the uses you can use with a trash bag is to go ahead and place this over your backpack. Now, what you're going to end up having to do is to cut out areas where your straps are. Obviously, you need to have those straps accessible. So go ahead and fit it and then cut your straps. But really, you get this over your bag, it's going to be extremely protected. Yeah, there may be some seepage where the straps are, but really overall, this is really going to help protect your gear. Because a lot of gear, once it's wet, it can really cause a problem. One of the things about these bags is you can take your electronics, your flashlights, even your guns, and put them in here in a really rainy situation and secure them to where they won't get wet. Your medical supplies especially. And securing them in the plastic bag, these are waterproof, and once you seal them up, it's going to be a great way to keep things dry. Now, one thing also that this may really come in handy is that if you're in a situation where it's civil unrest and you want to black out your windows, you could use this to keep the light out. Placing the plastic over your windows, taking tacks or staples, and then what I would suggest is to take duct tape and duct tape around and seal that window in. That's going to give your house an unoccupied look, not like somebody's at home, and that could really come in handy. Now, on ready.gov, they even talk about having plastic handy at all times to place over your windows in case there's some kind of chemical attack, or let's say a train derails and has some kind of chemicals in it. You can place that over your windows and over your vents to seal up your house, and of course to seal up your doors as well. And of course, you can use it to clean up your mess. In a survival situation, probably not so much. Seriously, I've been keeping these heavy meal trash bags around for a long time. I typically put them in my pack, in my bug out bag, and I put one or two in there. But knowing all the different uses of these things, this is a great thing to leave in your truck or your vehicle. Put in your bags, have them around the house, have them stored back. And that way, if you ever need to really cover some things up, this will be a great asset. A good heavy meal trash bag, they're dirt cheap. But in a survival situation, they can be worth their weight in gold. So guys, I hope this gets you thinking about all the different items that you can have. Redundancy is very important. But if you can have one item that can fit many roles, you're way ahead of the game. But most of all, hopefully this will get you thinking about not only just the gear in your bag, but also just items around the house that may really come in handy in a tough situation. An improvised pillow, nothing better. Be strong. Be of good courage. God bless America. Long live the Republic. You know, the best laid plans of mice and men always comes to different than you. Okay. The best, or some kind of. You can contain those pricks, so yeah, you can contain those pricks.